Welcome everyone to the VGBC 2024 Game of the Year Awards. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I'm joined by Nakuso, Genji, Bajurwin, Oot, and Tailman. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Now, this is something we did back in 2021 and 2022, and then we just stopped doing it for some reason. But you know what? I figured it's time to bring it back. Let's just dive right into it. Now, we played a lot of games for Video Game Book Club this past year. Counting only the main VGBC games from the top, that list includes Dead Island 2, Tekken 8, Sifu, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Luigi's Mansion 3, aka Mr. McMahon Meets favorite game of all time, Four Tales, Animal Well, Persona 3 Reload, Cadence of Hyrule, Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip, Signalis, and last but not least, Cult of the Lamb. Now, all of them are amazing games in their own right, but the most important question we are here to answer today is, what is your VGBC 2024 Game of the Year? Just like with anything, we have a set of criteria and conditions for picking our VGBC Game of the Year. A, of course, it has to be a main VGBC game, and B, you had to have participated in the VGBC recording. Either you attended the recording or you submitted your proof of completion, or both. This means if you did not participate in certain VGBC games, you're pretty much limited on what you could have picked. But yeah, those were the criteria. But enough of that. The order of presenting will be Genji, Nakuso, Bajurwin, Tubimora, Oot, and then Tailman. And please be advised, there may be spoilers ahead. And with that said, let's get started. Starting with Mr. Genji. What is your VGBC 2024 Game of the Year and why?
Well, unfortunately, despite my pleading and begging, I was not allowed to pick Baldur's Gate 3 for my Game of the Year this year,
Yeah.
which I thought rigged. So I had to settle for going, fuck, what games did I play this year for VGBC? And looking through Discord, I couldn't find any, so I was like, hey, Persona 3 is a game that I remember I played recently that was a lot of fun and I spoke really highly of. So let's make Persona 3 Reload my game of the year for VGBC. Despite all the humor in that aside, I do genuinely think Persona 3 Reload is a fantastic game. I remember when when I was playing it and I was talking about it in the recording. I would say roll clip Tubby, but I doubt that will happen. About the
Sorry.
fact that I was
Sorry, Genji.
quite torn. Yeah. I was torn on how to talk about the game because the game is very much how do you review that kind of game, but I think ultimately the best way to review it is how much fun I had with the game. And Persona 3 Reload, despite all the other games I've played outside of VGBC, Persona 3 Reload is a game that stands out to be a really, really good experience overall, a really solid, fantastic JRPG that I can easily recommend to anyone who is interested in JRPGs, who's interested in Persona, who's interested in the whole social sort of aspect of sort of creating friendships over time with characters, and that the writing's done really well. The gameplay is a lot of fun. They take elements from the newer Persona games and make this a really, really enjoyable, fresh experience coming from someone who has never played the original. But fantastic gameplay, really great music, really good writing, some really good and serious themes that are touched upon. Though, while the game does get let down in the aspect of the monkey paw aspect, which I talked about with the thing that how I'm not keen on the idea of the DLC for the ending to get more gameplay, considering this is meant to be a complete sort of experience that Fez had when it came out. That aside, I think that as someone who hasn't actually played the DLC, I had a really great experience with the game overall. I can't really fault it overall on my time as a package. It's a really, really great experience. And if you're interested in JRPGs, this is a fantastic game to play. And if you want my more thoughts, check out VGBC episode 67, Persona 3 Reload.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Genji.
Well, take it away, whoever's next. I wasn't listening.
Nakuso.
Take it away, Nikita.
All right. So for me, it was Animal Well. It's supposed because Toby told me it was like Halo 2 meets Halo 3.
That's true.
And that's as a joke. And then when it won the VGBC. I was like, okay, what is this game really about? And it really was like Halo 2 meets Halo 3.
Exactly.
Man, I was just like hooked. Just the visuals, music, design choices, it was amazing. It really gave me that feeling when you play a game, especially when you're a kid and you just have like this awe and whimsy going through a game and just discovering. That's how I felt again with Animal Well. It just drops you into the world. It doesn't tell you anything, and you just go off on your own. That plus it's like a Metroidvania, which is one of my favorite genres. And the way they handled it with the puzzles, the way they lead you, the way they have collectibles that you unlock with eggs, the birds,
The eggs.
the eggs. And in this game, a lot of things that we talk about in VGBC when it comes to collectibles is it's nice to just collect, but also if you can give it purpose, that's a bonus. And everything that you get in Animal Well gives you something you can use, whether it be like a gadget that makes it easier to draw on the map, makes it easier to go around, to uncover other secrets. And even despite the issues I had with the game, when I look back at my dislikes, I noticed I had things with the kangaroo areas, some of the checkpoints, and also the lack of quick swapping. I remember that was a big one for a couple of us. Like even going back, looking at the score I gave it, which was a 9.5, I was still like, okay, so even with all the cons that I have, I give it a high score, so I know I really enjoyed it. And yeah, even like looking back at it, after the post game, I did more stuff. I went back, I looked at videos, and that's just how I knew that this was a game that I would remember. And the fact that one person did the majority of this game is like still crazy to me.
Did he do all the games?
And
Pretty
yeah,
much,
I think
yeah.
like pretty
He did
much.
all of it. Based on the Donkey interview he did, it sounded like he did everything, and that's crazy. Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, shout out to
I
Billy
was just
Bassett.
saying like because there's
Billy
like any
Bassett.
play testing,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. Oh yeah, them too. But like the building part of the I get
that's why it's the
Sorry.
majority.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
It's like, yeah, it's amazing. I would just sometimes sit, enjoy the views of the capybara, the animations in the background, hearing the creepy and messed up sounds, especially when we get chased by creepy wolves or that giant bird. It's been great. Oh, and in the last in the last quote unquote boss, one of the most freaky things
Oh
I've
my God,
played
yeah.
in recent years. So yeah, going back, reviewing Animal Well, cute little bloob, little blobby boy thing, entity. It's great.
It's beautiful.
All right.
Okay. And then Bajerwin.
What up? Anyway, it sucks that this year there was a lot of other good games. But it just, Persona 3 Reload.
All right, Cook.
Because, Animal Well, Cult of the Lamb, even a Legend of Zelda game happened this year, and here I am, struggling, but not really, because this is the only 10 I've ever given. This year is probably the most I've given high scores to games. I double-checked, I was like, dang, I've given 5s on other years. But this time it was, actually, a really good chunk of games I played were really solid, and then Persona 3 just happens to be this year as well, so... Let me just talk about how this is shaped my entire life real quick. I'm kidding.
All right, go for it.
I don't know. This is something I've memed about and thought about since you've shown it to me in my. I don't know how old I was anymore, but a child. All the times I've pretended to just take a Nerf gun to my head and go Persona. I was that kind of cringe as a kid, I wasn't just Naruto running. I was saying Persona while holding weird gun-shaped things to my head like a Pop-Tart. I don't know. This is my only one I've rated 10 out of 10 doubloons. JRPGs are my top game genre, and this has always been the meme of when we started Video Game Book Club, that when is it gonna end? And one of the biggest things that I would say with Tubby is I guess whenever we finally get to play Persona 3 or its remake should it ever happen. as the years go on, guess what? A remake happens, and I'm like, this is unreal. This is not real. And it happened, and we kept going, and Video Game Book Club's not dead, and that's awesome. And this game is such a meme, but also, like, means so much to me. I don't know how to explain it. Like, bruh, the depth of the story, the layer of the characters, and how much they've added on top of the original game. And as much as I wish to play the original, like, this is still, wow. This was, like, all those feelings of when I first played JRPGs as, like, a younger person. Like, all those, game mechanics, the storytelling, the characters, it's like, that first JRPG feeling I got came back, and you can't find that so easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, once you get it, you have to hold on to it. And I've always felt that, like, games I've played from Atlas, like any of those games, I've played a few. They've just I always finish them and I come out a changed person. I don't understand. Like, it does something to my brain chemistry. I'm not even kidding. Like, it really, like, makes me, like, search within myself, teaches me some life lessons. I don't know. It's just so good. Koromaru is best doggo, best animal companion in any Persona game I have played. I'm just saying. And it's just, like, the one, like, I mean, of all the games we played, this is probably the only one I get a tattoo of. Like, I'd get a Legend of Zelda tattoo, but not for Cadence of Hyrule. Not that specific, no. But, I mean, that means a lot. I don't have tattoos yet. If I got a Persona 3 Reload tattoo, I mean, that's gotta say something for my game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair point.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Like, the music is in my regular rotation. Like, I took a shower earlier, and I literally, the song that I finished my shower to was one of the original Persona 3, like, soundtracks. It was, like, Moon Reaching Out to the Stars or something is the title, or whatever. Anyway, bomb fire music. The characters break me, and rebuild me, and reshape me, and it's beautiful. It's great. Do I need to go on? Not really. If you need to know more, as referenced by Genji, I think it's VGBC episode 67.
Just a little footnote.
Just another one, you know,
Mm-hmm.
by the way. Rip to all the other games I played this year that were still really good, but this one, yeah. Okay. Tommy, your turn, please.
I mean, my game of the year, VGBC 2024, Bajoran kind of spoiled it a little bit. Persona 3 Reload.
Yay!
She said it best.
I'm so sorry.
Originally, book club, I kid you not, if it was going to end, it was going to end with that game. Like, I had already decided. Like a while ago. Yeah, I had already decided a while ago. I'm like, if people are no longer showing interest in book club, and by the time Persona 3 Reload comes around, if no one cares anymore, then I was gonna drop the project. And I was like, it's been a couple years we're doing this, and people are still enjoying this project, and people are still here. So again, like I said before, thank you guys for always joining in on these, because you guys are really the ones that help me continue to keep pushing this project. So thank you. But enough of that. Going back to Persona 3 Reload. Easy answer. That is my game of the year for 2024. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, and definitely my favorite JRPG of all time. I know Tailman and Bajoran know this best. Like, Persona 3 had such a big impact on me. Yeah, it started. Tailman knows this. It started out as a meme on, like, G4 TV, like back in the day on X-Play, and it was just that weird game of high schoolers just shooting themselves in the head to summon demons. It was like such a niche game at the time. Persona was not very big at the time, and it was just known as like that really weird Japanese game that people like talked about. But the people who had played it, like, they loved it, and we spread the word like a cult. And then now, saying how big Persona is nowadays, I'm just like, I'm so happy that the series has come so far. But Jerwin, like, had already mentioned it. Also, Genji. It's like, it's an unbelievable game. You know, the whole social aspect, the whole social links, and mixing in with the dungeon crawling, the music by Shoji Meguro. It's just like, the entire package is great. And playing this game as like I think I was in junior high at the time, like so like all of us growing up, like socially awkward, it's kind of weird, struggling to make friends sometimes here and there, and just having this game was like a comfort zone. And just really getting to know these characters and just seeing how the series has evolved and seeing how all of these my favorite word, quality of life changes have been added over time. It brings such a huge smile on my face every time I see this game, despite it being all about death and everything. But regardless, this is such an awesome game. Like Bajoran and Genji said, if you're a fan of JRPGs or if you're even like looking to jump into the series, this is a great one to jump into, and highly recommend it. But yeah, that is my VGBC 2024 Game of the Year. What about you, Mr. Oot? What is your Game of the Year?
Me?
Yeah.
This is my first year playing VGBC, so I didn't get to play a lot of games due to time.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as everyone would love for me to say Tekken 8, because I didn't know how to sprint that whole game.
Shout out to Tekken 8.
Yeah, shout out to Tekken 8. Watch that VGBC. My first fighting game. I didn't read the instructions. But mine would have to be Signalis. I really enjoyed Signalis. It was always a game that was on my wish list ever since I saw the community created like art and animations. I always thought it would look pretty, and because of VGBC, I was able to finally play it, like actually sit down and play it, not say like, "Oh yeah, I'll play it." It was a game that was very interesting to go through. The story was more emotional for me. I know for others it wasn't as much, but I enjoyed it really on that type of emotional level. And,
and that's all that matters, Oot.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man.
Could there have been quality of life? Yes. Of course, as always. But
quality of life,
if we could put that on a shirt, quality of life, please.
Can we have a sticker in our Discord for quality of life?
It just says quality of life, nothing else.
Yeah. The inside meme.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Exactly, Tailman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for me, it was a great experience to go through, and the fact that it has multiple endings really drove me to actually play that game in its entirety.
Awesome.
And and yeah, that's for me. Okay. I believe I gave it a 9.5 out of 10, if I recall.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I gave it a high score. I think that was my first high score.
I mean, it was that versus Tekken 8, so...
No, I played other games. I played other games. I actually had to look.
Yeah,
I played Tekken 8, Killing with Fire 2, Monster Prom 3, and Signal.
Oh,
Monster Prom 3! I forgot!
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Oh, and Call the Lamb. Call the Lamb. Oh, no, never mind. Just kidding. That wasn't you.
That wasn't me. I had to go through. I had to go through Gmail just to make sure, all my submissions.
Okay, awesome. So Signalis, that's great.
Yeah, well, that's for me. What I believe it's with
Tailman. Yeah, Tailman's next.
Hey, there you go.
All right, here we go.
Well, you don't know.
He's already laughing. Can't even say it.
I only played one game. It's a pretty serious game, but it's the only one that matters, which is Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
Represent. Dead Island 2 shout out.
No, I feel like I'm joking, but that was the only game I played this year. It's the one I was genuinely looking forward to the most because I waited 5 or 6 years for a sequel to Dead Island, which I actually also enjoyed too. And so it's it's been in purgatory for all those years. It's been rumored, it might come, not. New ownership and development is taken from one studio to another, and finally seeing it actually come out around the same time when I think the other zombie game we played Dying Light 2 came out around that same time. Oh my gosh! Actually, finally seeing a proper trailer and the behind the scenes, it was like compared to Dead Island 1, it was like almost not even the same game. It had the same feel, like foundation to it, but everything else after that was just completely new. Like I remember, I was only supposed to play the tutorial level so we can, have access to the multiplayer. But I ended up doing a few missions because I was just already so engrossed in the game, enjoying everything, like all the improvements they made to the gore system which sounds kind of weird out of context, but considering it's a zombie game where most of the combat is mostly melee and not really much firearms based stuff, the fact that the gore is very satisfying. When you hit a zombie with the heavy weapon, it can hear that, satisfying, just thunk, and then you see like part of the rib cage just like snap open, and you're like, oh, it's good. It's very satisfying, and not only that, but just the gameplay was even though it is quote unquote open world, it's more streamlined for an open world game, which may or may not put some others off. But for me, I was enjoying every second of it. There were unfortunately a lot of issues with online that really did hamper my enjoyment out of the game, of course. But but in general though, I still loved it very much, and I believe there's some DLC for the game now. But yeah, no. God, I was always looking forward to playing more of the game. I fought so hard to not play ahead because I tend to have a tendency to do that on some other games I really like. What was that? The Trine or no Torchlight? Yeah, that's an example.
Trine.
No, not
Trine
Trine.
made it into
Sorry.
the Game Awards.
Trine mentioned the frick? No. So yeah, we did. Yeah, so like I said, I really love the. I'm not really. It's no secret that I'm not. When it comes to interests, I'm very, very basic. It's either shooters or anything zombie related, or both, or anything action. I'm not really much for anything else, but I do give them other tries if I can. But no, Dead Island 2 for sure was definitely my. Well, that's my only nomination really, for Game of the Year. I mean, serious down, but that was a side one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was a side one.
Yeah, that was a side one. So of course, going by the rules, Dead Island 2 is the only one that I can suggest. And honestly, if I had played all the games, I still would have picked Dead Island 2 anyway.
That's the spirit.
Dude, man, I've been waiting for that game to come out, and when it finally did,
double down.
I respect that term, man.
What was that? Yeah, it's just like
respect.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this game to come out, and it finally came out, and I'm happy they did it justice because all the characters were actually really funny to listen to, and I was kind of tempted to play the game through different characters just to see their dialogue. That's how interested I really was in the characters, and it was nice to see a familiar face come by. I think you know who, Tubby. Well, the moment we saw him show up, we're like, oh. We even mentioned it too, and just like, man, they know who they're
broken heads, broken legs.
Oh man, yeah, no, for sure. Dead Island 2 is definitely my game of the year nomination for sure. It's just everything about it was fantastic. I if we could play it again, I definitely would, but I just wait. I think there's the new DLC that came out for that game too, and we should probably check that out one day.
For sure.
Yeah, but Dead Island 2 game I've waited for so long. I was so happy to find it came out. Like I said, the online was a bit spotty at times, and that one glitch where I lost my progress. But honestly, I didn't even mind. If I had to restart, I definitely would have if we had the time. I enjoyed it, but we were crunching, so I just had to borrow. I think it was Knockstone's profile, and no, I enjoyed it so much. It was very fun to just beat the crap out of zombies and watch their bodies like literally just break down to like chunky bits, and it was and how it poked fun at modern trends with online presence and all that. I think the streamer house was our highlight of the game. Oh my god, just to name a few, but yeah, no, for sure is Dead Island 2 is my game of the year and the one I look forward to the most. So I'm happy it finally came around.
Okay.
And that was just like everyone else. They're all mentioning it. Episode 57, and I gave that game a 7. So there we go.
Shout out to episode 7. Sorry, episode 57.
Dang, episode 7 was
I don't even know.
No, I'm gonna look right now.
Episode 7 was Guacamole. I wasn't even
Oh my
Hey, Guacamole.
Like, I'm man just knows it.
Either.
Guacamole 2. I tried to finish that. I couldn't.
Me too. I remember in the same
It's like,
boat. I
Devin is
remember.
deep in the lore of
He is. It's actually year 1.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
one me and Tailman missed on.
There's also Back for Blood on the subject. Oh my gosh.
God.
I'm looking at the list. What did I give that? No, anyways, no, I've got. Anyways, but yeah, Dead Island 2 for sure is my nomination, and I'll fight to the last breath.
I like it.
To defend it.
I love it.
Good. Respect.
All right. Well, that is it. That concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club for the 2024 Game of the Year Awards. Thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to join the Video Game Book Club Discord and play and discuss video games alongside us and the community, the link will be in the description box below. With that said, take care, have a good one, and we will catch you next year. 2025, 5 years of Video Game Book Club. So say goodbye, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Bye,
New
everyone.
Year.
Happy